They're coming to get you, Barbara.
The Fear Central Radio Show. Warning, our content may include spoilers and is intended for mature audiences.
Hey, fellow horror fans, welcome to the Fear Central Radio Show. I am your host, Mike, and along with me, we've got everybody that has been on the show before, except for Monica. She's not feeling very well, but we've got
Heather,
Shane,
Chris,
Tim,
and on the phone with us, we've got
Paul, and Joe.
There we go. We've got a full crowd tonight, so we have to apologize first for missing last week. Along the lines of a lot of people being sick lately, Chris and I also had the unfortunate incident having to deal with having our youngest go through scoliosis surgery. So, in lieu of that, we've decided that this week's show will be about medical horror.
dum dum dum, dum dum
I know, I
dum,
got all silent there.
dum dum dum.
Dum 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 dum.
Hey, would American Horror Story count as?
yes,
The medical-
completely.
Well, I would say
Parts of
the
Yes,
Asylum probably would.
Asylum.
Yeah, medical. Yeah, so,
Yeah, Asylum probably would.
That's my contribution. I'm out.
Jesus.
Done. Done. Mic drop.
Sequel to Babe. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He dropped me.
Yes, you've been dropped.
I've been dropped.
Okay then.
So, there are actually quite a few medical movies that even I wasn't aware of.
A lot.
A lot.
A lot.
And some that they consider medical horror movies that aren't actually horror movies.
Or
It's true.
medical.
And some of them are not medical.
Some of them aren't movies.
Yeah, you know. We're just throwing all kinds of shit
Like
out there.
actually going to an actual doctor.
Yeah. All right, so
Insurance premium.
Saw
Mic
6.
drop.
Well, I think the lifetime achievement for medical horror has to go to David Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
All the wonderful, wonderful little makeup effects where he can get vaginas growing out of every part of the body.
Oh,
my
yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Forgot all about that.
Of course, the first one that Heather and I first popped off with was The Dentist.
The dentist.
Dr. Giggles.
Yeah. I don't know. Just the thought of going to the dentist anyway just kind of makes you go, oh.
See, I never had a problem with going to the dentist.
yeah,
and most
no.
people see
No,
that
it's the
movie
whole
and they're like,
grinding on my teeth thing that bugs the crap out of me.
It's a sound thing.
You know what? It's
Yes.
not that for me. It's the suction thingy.
Either that or them trying to take x-rays and stuff, shoving
No,
that
I'm
big ass
okay
thing in
with
your mouth. I've got a bad gag reflex, so that sucks.
A bad gaggery reflex?
Yes.
Tim could not
So
be
you can end up
homosexual.
with a thumb dance like Steve Stuckle Horrors.
Silence falls.
Dum.
Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Autopsy Jane Doe's a great one.
I thought it was excellent.
Hey, we
Are
need
they
to
going to do a sequel?
We need to stick with one thing at a time. Y'all are jumping around like rabbits.
Oh, that chicken's pregnant.
It's
Oh,
the-
that rabbit's pregnant. Oh, that ferret's pregnant. Oh,
Yeah.
Hey,
A little at a
okay,
time.
who here likes Autopsy of Jane Doe?
Me.
Me.
what?
Hey,
He asked
Okay.
who liked Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Oh, I loved Autopsy Jane Doe.
It was alright.
okay.
I thought it was an interesting take on. It seemed fresh to me because it hasn't been like your typical slashers. It wasn't like your
Well, her
typical.
cadaver had no sign of rigor mortis, so she was pretty fresh.
She was pretty fresh,
Yeah.
but there were
Yes.
signs under her skin.
Oh.
She was much fresher than Dead Girl.
Yes.
It's fresher than a dead girl, but not fresher than a living dead girl.
Oh,
But it's superstition, not jealousy.
Living Dead Girl, nice. And there we are with the Italian softcore porn reference.
I see the only one that gets it in the group
There's
is
that
him.
one comment that just goes way over the line.
yep.
We jumped right off the edge with that one. Right off
I was
the
like,
edge.
if anybody's gonna get this,
We
Yeah,
jumped
it
off
would-
the
it would be-
edge holding hands. Yeah, I mean, it was.
So I don't know. See, someone here put The Silence of the Lambs as a medical horror. I was like,
That's
The
more
reason
psychological
is because-
thriller.
The reason it is because the demented Dr. Lecter.
it's true.
yeah,
He
but
is a
that's
doctor.
more of a psychological thriller than it is a medical.
Yeah, you have a
But the
lot
reason
more.
they did it was because of Dr. Hannibal Lecter.
Eh,
That's why.
Right.
That's why.
That's the only reason why. They also put Halloween on one of them.
no.
Halloween 2, because it takes
No.
place in a
It takes
hospital.
place in a hospital.
In the hospital.
Okay, so then there goes that line. Are we talking about movies that are in hospital settings, or are we talking movies that are about medical? Like, Dr. Giggles is
Michael does
the
kill
dentist that
people in
goes
part 2 with
crazy.
medical instruments.
Yes,
This
it does.
is true.
I think
But
guess it-
are
I
we
guess-
talking about a killer that is medically inclined?
Or
I guess
what
it's
about,
fair-
like, Island of Dr. Moreau?
Exactly.
That was excellent.
Okay, Paul, what's that, Paul?
I said, I guess it's fair to define what would y'all consider makes medical horror?
I would say, honestly, if it's set in a medical setting and the killer is a medical profession or kills with medical instruments, then it would pertain to it.
Okay, so that still leaves morticians and autopsies,
Nurses,
nurses, the nurse,
doctors.
So,
dentists.
Well, for that, and even for that one, you could even do House on Haunted Hill.
It's true.
because the ghosts
Okay.
are.
Yeah, because a ghost is
Yeah.
a doctor. Yeah.
And it's done in an asylum.
Well, then what about the Fly?
I could see that.
He was
Because
a
it's
doctor.
more.
He was a doctor and
was
he
a
did
doctor.
kill.
But it was more sci-fi type stuff with the transporter.
But he still killed.
well, you
The
mentioned
elevator
medical
crush
horror.
was excellent.
Say
You
again.
mentioned medical horror, and the first one that popped into my head was actually Splice, which doesn't really fit those criteria. Researchers.
Yeah.
That one was actually pretty good. I was actually surprised at how well that one actually turned
But
out.
then you
And the
can
creatures seemed
also
alright,
fall that one into Mimic.
Yeah. Kind of.
What about, like, Hollow Man?
I haven't seen Hollow Man.
Hollow Man's good, but I mean, yeah, that would fall into it because in Hollow Man he does end up killing people, and he's
They're trying
a doctor
to find
and a medical
a
experiment.
cure for cancer or something. It turns
Right.
him invisible.
Yeah.
But then his biggest thing that he says is, "What would you get away with it if you didn't have to look yourself in the mirror?"
Right.
Okay. So what about like Flatliners?
That could be
There's
considered.
actually no real killing in there, but
Well, they kill
it
each other.
is kind of a
If
medical
you want to
experiment.
think about it.
What do you think, Paul?
Flatliners, I would definitely say medical. They're all pre-med students, and they are all testing out, the body's ability to come back from the dead.
Right.
I mean, it's a ghost story from there, but yeah. Oh, and y'all just reminded me of two excellent medical horror movies because they both take place in medical academies. German film Anatomy with Franca Potente from the
Okay,
Born
see, I
Identity.
haven't seen that one.
What is it?
It's on my list. I just haven't seen it.
Great.
Yeah,
Which one?
it's on our list. Anatomy.
Anatomy.
Oh, right. That's is that the? No, I bought Autopsy.
Yeah, we looked at that when we were looking yesterday.
Anatomy is really solid. It has a really tense intro because the way that a lot of people are killed in that movie, it is kind of terrifying, actually. And Pathology from the Constantine Crank,
Ooh, yes.
the one about all the medical students daring each other into horrible things.
Yes.
What about Gothica? The Halle Berry one.
I'm not sure I'd classify that as a medical.
No, I wouldn't.
Was she medical? Wasn't she like a stay-in nurse or something?
She was, but it's a...
Limp Bizkit covered The Who at the end of it.
Yeah, that was pretty horrifying.
Yeah.
Okay,
Of course,
so-
one of the big ones, Reanimator.
What about Deep Waters?
You mean
Deepwater?
Deep Blue Sea?
Not Deep Waters. The
Deep Blue
Lordy.
Sea.
Dark Floors.
There you go, Dark
Yeah.
Floors.
What about Deep Blue Sea? They're trying to find a cure for cancer.
That's
but
true.
It turns out the
What is your
the
thing
sharks
with
kill
cancer
everybody.
tonight?
I got ate by a shark.
There was this old movie years ago. It was done back in the early 80s. It had William Shatner and Michael Ironside in it. It was called Visiting Hours.
Uh-huh.
And it used to be on HBO. Like every third movie was this movie on HBO.
Okay.
And it was actually really good. It has this one scene where this lady goes crazy. She jumps out of her hospital window, lands through the ambulance, and ends up going right back in. Lands in an ambulance and is like driving away to go somewhere, and they bring her right back to the hospital.
That brings me to another one, Ambulance.
I haven't seen that.
That was actually one back, I think, in the 70s. And it was about the ambulance itself being haunted and it would kill people.
Oh, that sounds kind of cool.
An
Okay.
ambulance version of Christine.
Carrie? Christine?
Yeah, pretty much. It was back
Carrie,
when
Christine.
all the grind movies were coming out.
But back to Reanimator.
Back to
What?
Reanimator.
Night Shift.
Night Shift.
We've got Night Shift yelled out from the crowd in the background.
Oh, there's one called Coma.
I've seen that.
Coma was
What
pretty
do you think of Reanimator, Paul?
Huh?
What do you think of Reanimator?
Love Reanimator. I love all three of them. Bride of Reanimator, Beyond Reanimator.
Yeah.
Reanimated.
But the first one is that nice balance of like horror and comedy.
Right.
Like it's a little reverent to the source material, but it throws in some jokes.
Yeah.
Bride of Reanimator is a good like romantic melodrama, and then Beyond Reanimator is just over the top crazy bullshit. It's awesome.
Nice.
What about Hellraiser 2?
Yeah, that's in one of my lists here, too. Hellraiser, or Hellbound Hellraiser 2, because it is a doctor trying to bring her back so he can experience.
Okay,
And
so
then you get the doctor.
Yep.
I have to go old school here.
Hold
for
on,
you
hold on,
guys.
Paul, say something, what?
Sorry. Go ahead, Paul.
I said it's got scalpel tentacles, so
That's true, it does have scalpel tentacles.
Okay,
Oh,
so
yes, what is today?
I'm going to have to
Evisceration.
go with one of the originals,
Don't look at the basement?
Frankenstein.
Dr. Frankenstein.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Frankenstein.
It's
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein?
It's very quiet, this show.
That is my son's favorite. He loves that movie.
And I'm surprised
Loves
you didn't see this one coming, The Unborn.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting there.
You're
Stop jumping
jumping
ahead.
too fast.
You're
We
like,
haven't got to talk
we
about
haven't even
any of the
talked about a
movies.
solid movie yet. You're like, this one. What about this one? What about this one? What about this one? What about this
Stop
one?
it, Chris. You're going to turn your mic off.
My brain's just flashing.
Yes, turn mic off.
I think it would benefit more for people to talk about what their favorite is, if everybody has a favorite.
Ooh.
Hey, Mike, what's your favorite?
Sorry, I was turned off.
Okay. I have one, but it's an unusual one. It's called Boxing Helena. And it's been remade twice. Actually, I think probably 3. But yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, taking your complete obsession and just slowly diminishing it over a period of time.
I love how literal that title is.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like the movie Suck. That was a pretty literal title, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm never gonna hear the end of that one.
Never.
Oh, here's what. Even though it has nothing to do with medical stuff, but I was in my room cleaning the other day, and my daughter and the boy were watching TV. They clicked a movie that was on Netflix.
Yeah,
and
I
it
know.
started.
She told me.
And yeah, they started to watch Teeth, and I was like, "No!"
Wait, Teeth? I don't think I've ever seen that
The
one.
vagina has teeth.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, that one. Oh, wait, yes.
Yeah,
okay.
and I was
Ooh,
like,
no.
"Y'all are not watching this.
That-
This
that-
borders
that-
on porn."
That could be a medical anomaly.
Yes, but there's
You
like
could've
we didn't know
used
what
that.
it was. It looked interesting.
You could have used that. This is what's going to happen if you ever touch my daughter.
Oh no, I already told him that if he ever touched my daughter, that I was going to pay somebody to whip his ass because I'm not going to prison.
I'm free on Sundays.
Alrighty, rock on.
Okay.
Tim,
Anyway,
what's your favorite?
Tim, what's your favorite?
If you're wanting to go true medical,
Right.
I'd have to go with Hollow Man.
Hollow Man?
But it's
I
not
have
really
a
scary.
thing that maybe if he was invisible, Tim would get away with a lot of shit. Like, he would do just some weird, bizarre,
He wouldn't
freakish...
last.
Look at this
He would
smile!
not last being invisible.
No.
Monica would kill him. She would paint him.
She would have
Throw a
thrown
flower or something.
paint.
Right?
She would have flower on the floor. Why is all the flower on the floor? Look, there's Tim.
Right?
Walk over. Monica, did you do something new with your floors?
Yeah, you'd never have to clean them again.
This is just my way of tracking my husband.
Right?
I don't know if I actually have a favorite. I did like American Mary.
Oh, yes.
That's a good one.
Okay, if
That
I had to
was
choose
really
between
good.
Boxing Helena and American Mary, totally. Hands down, American Mary.
Which you just said
Oh,
your
do you
favorite
like
box.
do you like the Saskia twins?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We've actually
wouldn't have
met
known.
them. They're really sweet.
It's not like you have a signed poster up in your house.
I know, right?
We're a little bit biased.
A little bit.
But, yeah, actually, that one, and I actually did get to watch Dead Hooker in a Trunk, and that was actually quite good, too.
There's a dead hooker in the trunk?
I don't
Okay,
have
Paul,
that
I'm
hooker in my
going to dig into your territory a little bit. Would probably also be Katie's territory if she's seen it, because she is the historian. But the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, solid.
That would be a solid medical movie right there.
Well, I mean, for hypnosis at least, if you want to see like half of where Tim Burton got his style from, it's that movie.
Right.
What am I looking at?
We don't know, honey.
What are you looking at?
What are you
What's
looking
the
at?
word I'm looking for?
Wall?
Ow!
I can only imagine what's
Wow.
going on over there.
It's
Paul
hypnosis count.
Paul just got smacked.
Oh, we're missing.
Why?
What?
With Rosario Dawson.
It's from the guy that did Train Spotting. Yeah,
I
Danny
missed the
Boyle.
name. What was the name?
It's called Trance.
Not really a
Trance.
horror movie. It's a suspense movie.
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, if you're looking at hypnosis being medical, you could say that is medical. You could also say Get Out is medical.
True.
Get
Get
Out
Out's
is
more
definitely
psychological.
Well, no,
than-
because they used a medical procedure.
flashback.
Oh, yeah,
medical.
but
So, do you consider ones where a psychiatric patient is the main subject and the killer?
I really
Patrick?
don't consider that Well, I guess it would be falling under medical because psychology is medicine.
Okay, what about identity?
Nah. Are you talking like face-off identity kind of thing, or
No, like
the movie
Identity,
Identity.
John Cusack, where he had all the multiple personalities.
Yeah, well,
I
That
thought
was
it
a
was
good
I thought
movie,
it was
though.
great. I thought it was brilliant.
Brilliant movie.
Yeah, it was.
Where
Oh,
it's the
what-
kid that turns out to be the psychotic.
Spoiler alert there. Anyways,
Hey,
some people might have not have seen this, Tim, and now you've ruined that experience for them.
well, they should have seen it by now.
yeah.
Oh, here's
Hey,
another
wait.
one. Okay, I'm
I've,
waiting.
I've got one that I'm surprised that you haven't mentioned already.
one?
Nightmare 3. Nightmare on Elm Street 3. They were all in an
Yeah,
asylum.
they were.
It's true. They were all in the children's orphanage medical. kind of
Welcome to
thing.
prime time, bitch. Yeah.
I am the greatest sorcerer in the world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't believe you didn't mention that one already.
Sorry, I haven't got there yet.
So, if you're talking about ones that use medical devices and things, you could also do Jason X.
True.
Or Hellbound 2 Hellraiser.
Oh,
I've already
yeah.
said that one.
Did we? I wasn't paying attention.
Okay,
That's
Paul,
typical.
here's another great one that
It
I
is.
think falls under this category. Altered States.
Oh.
It's on my list.
Yeah,
It is
Yeah,
medical
I mean-
experimentation.
it is. That one's very psychological horror along the lines of Jacob's Ladder.
Right.
As far as what's on in it.
What about Shutter Island?
That could possibly
That
be
could work.
classified.
That could, I don't know.
'Cause
Yeah.
it's in an insane asylum.
It is an insane asylum, but it's not necessarily really horror. It's more of a psychological mind twist where Leonardo DiCaprio actually had a decent role.
Here, I think Heather has one.
Oh, Eyes Without a Face.
No, that's an old Billy Idol song.
It's based on a movie, a French movie.
I will give the point to Eyes Without a Face. That would definitely fall within my purview of medical horror.
Right? What
Go
about
on.
Patrick? Sorry, my dog is asleep.
I'm dreaming.
She's dreaming.
She's dreaming of the vet.
Yeah.
But what about Patrick? Paul, have you seen Patrick?
I have not seen Patrick.
Okay, so the premise of Patrick is he's a young he's just like he's a patient of.
He's comatose.
He's comatose. He can't move. But then he starts doing all these things to this nurse with his mind. So
I think I've seen like the trailer for it, but I haven't actually watched
Patrick,
it.
There's a subtitle to it. Just Patrick Something Awakens or something.
Yeah, right. But it's. I don't know. It's just different.
I don't know. I found an Italian one that I want to watch just because I like the way the title sounds.
Huh.
La bestia uccide de sangue freddo.
And in English, sir?
I have no idea what that means.
I have no earthly idea, but it's 1971. It looks interesting.
Paul, have you seen this one?
Without the translation of the title, I'm not sure.
Well,
we are on a phone call, so that came out as.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a Fernando de Leo movie.
Yes,
Who
ma'am.
can be with the under that definition of medical? One for sure, the Kingdom miniseries.
The original Dutch Kingdom?
Yeah.
Okay.
That and would you categorize Angel's Eyes
Oh.
as a medical?
Yeah, it's the Guillermo del Toro produced Spanish suspense horror flick.
What was the name of it?
Angela's Eyes. Los ojos de Andrea.
Angela's
I've
Eyes.
seen that.
Yeah.
I've seen
Yeah,
that.
I've seen that.
Okay.
Very solid one. Yeah.
And another one that I've seen that I don't know if anybody else has seen is called Fragile. It's got Callista Flockhart in it, and she's a nurse working in a children's hospital. And there's this demented nurse that's terrorizing all these poor children and hurting them so they will stay in the hospital with her. Creepy as shit.
So
I think I've actually seen that one.
Something what?
Something that might be fun to talk about, not that I'm trying to cut anybody short, with me, medical horror almost always kind of spills out into body horror whenever I first think about it.
Right.
I'm pretty sure everybody has something that makes them cringe in a horror movie, whether
Needles.
it's like a specific part of the body getting injured or a specific scene from something that makes you queasy and you just go, oh no.
Needles.
What's that for everybody?
Needles.
I would have to say there's a scene in the cell where they are taking the organ grinder and the organs are slowly being ripped out of the person. I think that would do it for me.
When they get the sound of a broken bone right.
Ooh.
Oh, where it's kind of wet?
Yeah.
Well, when it actually sounds like a real bone is being broken, there's a big difference between a fake one and the right sound, and it just makes me cringe.
You know, it's funny. I can watch Hostel all day long. Doesn't bother me at all. None of the gore and all that.
Yeah.
But you put in the Saw where they push her off in the vat of needles, and
Yep.
I'm on the floor passed out smooth.
Oh yeah.
I think Joe agrees.
Needles are not my friend.
Oddly enough, for me, it's fingernails.
Oh, yeah?
Like in
Audition.
like in Audition or Stir of Echoes, where she snaps her fingernail right off, and it's like, oh god, oh no. There was another one that I watched that had they were putting acupuncture needles in the fingernails. I was like, oh god, no, done.
Yeah.
It's not that it scares me; that just looks painful, and I don't want to deal with it.
Right?
What about you?
From a probably from the first time I watched Pet Sematary at age 8, something I've decided any director who does it is sick man, is Achilles heel injuries.
Oh, like House of Wax when they snap it?
Yeah, well, with Pet Sematary specifically, obviously, it was Gage tearing into Judd's back of Judd's ankle with the scalpel.
Yeah, I've actually torn my Achilles tendon, and every time I've seen that, I've made my leg jerk. Subconsciously, it's just no. I'm done.
All right, Katie.
I have recurring foot pain. I can put up with almost everything in a movie, but whenever somebody does something to feet, I just go, "No, you're a freak. Stop it."
So, Katie, if you ever want to torture him, just pinch him by it.
Well, and the worst part for me, I guess, with the needles is I've had so many surgeries. I mean, too many to count. I've had all these other things. But I will tell you that the worst incident with needles with me, and Chris can attest because she was sitting in the room, was when I got acupuncture. I was...
You about jumped through the wall. It was kind of funny.
I was pale white, just dripping sweat. It was not pretty. It was not a fun thing. So no acupuncture for me again.
No?
The worst thing that, and this is the reason I can't stand needles, is when I was younger, I had a nurse that was talking to another person, and she literally stuck the needle through my vein and did not drop. Yeah. So I do not like needles for that particular reason, but ironically enough, I love tattoos.
You know what kills me is as long as I don't look at the needles, I do not have a problem with them. But if I look at them, it's like immediately, it's like I get this wave of nausea, and I'm like,
see, I don't even get that. I get this whole fight or flight thing.
It's like me in
and
Extreme Heights.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we need to figure
I got
out.
on the roof and had a panic attack, Tim. I don't even want to hear it.
But we got to find out what Katie and Joe's.
Yes.
All right, fess up, you two.
Well, mine definitely is like, I don't like wide, like big needles. Little needles don't bother me so much, but like big ones,
like cow needles.
Yeah, exactly. I have to get my blood drawn a lot, and I have really crooked veins, and they're deep. So every time I end up with massive bruises because they can't get it.
I just need 4 or 5 more redos.
Like, whenever I got my wisdom teeth out, I went in and the lady stuck me 4 times. And each time she stuck me, and then she'd like fiddle around with it, like inside my skin for like 30 seconds, trying to find a needle or a vein. It was awful. Like both arms were like black, and then eventually the one that freaked me out was they went through my bicep to get the vein because they couldn't get one in the crook of the arm.
I've got something better than that, Katie. I was having kidney stone surgery, something. They stuck me 23 times and finally just had to put me under anesthesia, like give me the gas and get it on the inside of my foot. Oh, that gets both of you. Needles and Paul with the feet. You know those little teeny tiny little veins on the side of the inside of your feet?
Oh, yeah.
That's where my IV was.
That's because that's your femoral.
I technically have the needles and feet thing myself.
Right now?
I have a feeling Katie wants to tell that story.
Oh.
So I do lots of crafts and stuff. So I have a straight pin and a pincushion. And Paul, I
Did he
swear to
step
God,
on it?
Oh yeah, multiple times.
Oh my God.
Oh, poor Paul.
It's almost as bad as Legos.
One time he stepped on it, and there were over 30 pins in his foot.
Oh.
And stuck in so far that I had to get pliers to rip it out.
That happened to my dad one time with a sewing needle.
Hard.
Yeah, it's so funny, right?
And the worst part was that when I get nervous, I start giggling. So I'm giggling while I'm trying to pull.
That would have been great to be on video. That would have been awesome.
That would have been an awesome video.
I'm about to put that in a film. Some girl pulling needles out of a foot, giggling.
I'm doing it again.
Not doing it again.
Especially the long ones, like
Yeah.
the
We're talking
nails.
like acupuncture needles.
Yes.
Well, my dad, I guess we were, I was probably 10 years old, 11 years old maybe. My mom sewed with a sewing machine, and she hand sewed. She was not very good at it, but she did a little bit. Well, apparently one of her sewing needles, the long ones, like the upholstery needles, fell out. And my dad skewered his big toe, his next to it, and the third toe skewered all the way through them. How he did it, I don't know, but he had to pull it out with a pair of pliers.
That sounds painful.
Yeah.
I'd be like, leave it in, give me a bottle of vodka first.
Needles and feet. Yep, I'm with you.
Needles and feet. All right, Joe, what you got?
Someone already got my answer with Saw with the tip needles, but something that comes to mind is pretty much the first Collector movie. The movie comes out. There's so many instances I was just cringing and barely looking at the screen because they come along that house and just like go after vital parts of like the heel and the back of the leg and yeah. So kind of that whole movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so lots of needles.
Lots of needles and fingernails.
Yeah.
And Achilles.
Yeah.
And needles in the Achilles.
And
Those are really like...
My coworker came in. She was watching a lot of reality television, and she thought that a pleasant story to tell me was, I just started watching this show called I Survived, and she proceeded to tell me about a pregnant woman who got beat upside the head, and then a woman was trying to take her baby out with a box cutter and wasn't able to make clean slice, so she was just serrated sawing, and like the girl was passing out, and like by the end of it her intestines were spilling out and she had to like go into the hallway. That is my coworker's just like, oh, blah blah blah, and I'm just sitting there at my desk like, no.
And
so
those are
much,
actually
no.
true stories. I've seen an episode of that, and it's like, how did you survive that?
Well, they say truth is stranger than fiction.
art imitates life.
Wow.
Just come walk a mile in my shoes, you'll realize that
Right.
real life is stranger than fiction.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
But people are strange.
I think there's a reason why people are so good in horror movies is some of them
They're screwed up
tend
just
to
like
have
the rest of us?
even more so. And then they
More
kind
screwed up
of
than our family?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
and then it kind of balances them out.
We're balanced?
No, she didn't say we were balanced.
I didn't say
okay,
we.
okay.
I said them.
Hey, would Nightbreed count as medical?
Yes. Yes. Completely yes.
I don't know.
Okay, the psychiatric doctor.
Right.
He's in a hospital.
He
escaped
kills
from the hospital.
a kid.
Yeah.
Screw that. He kills the whole family.
Yeah.
Paul, I have one more, and I don't know if you've seen it. It's Spanish, but it's called The Skin I Live In. Have you seen that one?
Oh, with Antonio Banderas.
Yes.
Yeah, he's seen it.
Well, I've been trying to find it, and it won't let me find it, and then it tells me that it's age restricted, so I have to log in to find this movie.
Not old enough.
You're
I'm
not
not
old
old
enough,
enough, apparently. But,
Old enough to watch Green Inferno, but not old enough to see that one.
right.
That's actually directed by what's his name, Pedro Almodovar.
Yeah.
Like kind of an artsy Spanish director.
Right.
Yeah, like Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown and all that. Those his movies. That's a solid movie. I think I saw it on Hulu.
I'll have to check it out on Hulu. I have Hulu. I don't know, but I just thought that the little synopsis thing, when it's describing this movie, it says, "What a delightful little mindfuck."
Oh, yeah. Didn't we watch the trailer?
We were
of that one?
trying to, and remember it wouldn't let
Yeah.
us. So,
We did try to watch our trailer earlier today, and it said it wasn't available in our country.
yeah.
Really?
Oh my gosh, what was it?
Clownophobia?
Clownophobia. That's what it was.
Clownophobia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then.
When I was looking up movies that were based in medical for horror. It said top clown horror movies, and I had to click on it.
Okay, then.
Somehow I don't think clownophobia is the proper Latin.
No, it's not.
Well, there was that one called Just Nurse. Remember, honey? We watched that one.
That was more soft porn.
That was good.
Soft corn?
Soft porn.
I thought you said corn.
No.
It's
Soft corn.
It's soft corn, dude.
Soft corn, man.
Soft corn.
Soft porn, you know.
And
like
actually,
sweet corn.
okay, so I found the synopsis of clownophobia. It actually happens in an insane asylum. So I guess that technically would work for clowns and for medical.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, that's different.
Okay, you were going to say, Paul?
Oh, you mentioned Nurse. We watched that one in 3D. We weren't impressed.
Oh, in 3D even. Oh, well, okay. It wasn't that great of a film.
What's weird is that one stars it's Jamie's mistress from Boardwalk Empire, and she's kind of okay in Boardwalk Empire. But the moment the Nurse started, I was like, "Oh, this is terrible acting."
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even connect the two until just now. I loved Boardwalk Empire.
That was a great show.
Remember that trailer we watched yesterday, Heather? Needlestick?
No, which one was that? We watched like 17.
That one.
What?
Hold on.
That is not Needlestick.
Are you sure?
That was Needle Dig.
Don't be showing me those pictures. I think those are special for Chris. I don't need to see those
You want to
pictures.
see those?
More softcore corn.
More corn. Soft corn.
Soft corn.
What are you like doing? Where'd it go?
Where did it go? That's what she said.
Such a little needlestick.
Is that why you're scared of needles?
Yeah, that's it.
Could be.
She doesn't like needlestick.
Oh, okay. This is the one with Lance Hendrickson.
Yeah, the one with Lance Hendrickson that we watched.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It was just like, wait, is this really a trailer?
Yeah, it didn't look like a trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
Nope. Heroin, yes.
That's a horror.
Ginger Snaps 2 is in the list for hospital horror. Why?
Yeah. There definitely is a medical vibe to that, because they go through the lycanthropic cycle again, and they've got all the medical and psychological treatment going on with all the patients.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Now, one that keeps popping up in my list, I know Shane really likes, is Repo, the genetic opera.
I thought it was brilliant. I loved it.
Would you consider it kind of a medical kind of, because
Yes.
you know they're
yeah, totally. Because it is what it is.
okay?
You said Repo?
Repo,
The genetic
the
opera.
genetic opera.
I didn't consider that a horror movie.
It's genetic opera.
I consider it. Well, I mean, it is horror. It's also rock opera and musical. It's also sci-fi. It's also weirdly comedy in some parts and drama in others.
It's fun for the whole family.
It's the whole package.
Almost like the original.
If you want to have an uncomfortable conversation with your dad afterwards, I guess.
Well, it's kind of like the first or the original Wicker Man. You know, that was completely unexpected.
It was completely unexpected. That made for a fun
But
evening.
we do know a lot about the barkeep's daughter.
Yes, we do. A lot. What about Stonehurst Asylum? Would you consider that one, Paul?
It's listed as horror.
Stonehurst Asylum. It's been forever since I watched that one. I honestly don't remember it that much.
It was really kind of slow.
It was kind of slow, but it's a new doctor goes to an asylum.
Most things set in asylums are pretty slow. That usually ends up being a thing, because you usually have like a patient who comes in and he starts seeing some weird things, and then
Well, this one,
like
like a cure for wellness.
no. You can't give me enough drugs to make that movie good.
Hey, what about The Scribbler?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, it's excellent.
Yeah, that one was... I think that one would fit. Have you seen The Scribbler, Paul?
Or Katie?
Is it about a kid with a crayon?
No.
I think that's the purple crayon guy.
Babadook? No.
Coming this fall, The Scribbler from Walt Disney Studios. Please.
Giving Crayola a whole new name.
Just when you thought it was safe to color again.
You covered all over the damn wall.
It's not coming off!
Why did we go with the generics?
I've put 15 coats of new paint on it. It's still there. 15 chilling horror films you may have never seen.
Oh, goodness. Try us.
Try us. Yeah.
Making all your stick figures anatomically correct.
No, but seriously, Paul, if you get a chance, you should watch The Scribbler. It's on Netflix.
Baby Blue.
It's definitely interesting, and I think you would actually enjoy it.
Okay, I'll look into it.
The Changeling. The Children. Creep.
The Changeling Children?
Dead Birds.
Dead birds.
Children shouldn't play with dead things.
That is not a medical horror.
No, that is
That is
totally
just a horror
That's
horror.
just yes.
Can't believe I just peed my
Completely.
pants.
I know, but I just like to say that. Children shouldn't play with dead things.
Well, that was an hour and a half I'll never get back.
Now, are we going to include possessed children that are not yet born, like Grace?
Were they genetic mutants?
But she wasn't genetically mutated.
No. But she was delivered in a hospital.
Yeah, but that's where we're kind of pushing it a little.
That's why I'm asking.
No.
Yeah.
And that's the one, maybe they can only live on eating blood?
Blood, yes.
It's the difference between something that's horrific because of the medical involvement, or something that just happens to be set in a medical facility.
Right.
Yeah, like with Grace, there's a little bit of the medical involvement because they have all the maternity stuff going on with the doctor and all that. I can give that, and then plus the kid goes necrotic almost immediately, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was remembering that one.
Yeah, because evidently the kid kept fussing while trying to feed until it bit mom's nipple or something and tasted the blood, and then from there it went on.
I personally prefer It's Alive, but I wouldn't call It's Alive a medical horror.
No.
About part 2.
Or Island of the Alive.
What about The Ward? John Carpenter's The Ward. I liked it pretty well.
Yeah.
It was still set more in like a psychological an asylum as opposed to...
Yeah, but the thing is that if you're talking about like mentally ill, that falls under medical because, 9 times out of 10 they've got something medically wrong with them and they're seeing a psychiatrist.
Right.
Unless they're crazy and go off their meds.
So would you consider one where they're obviously insane, but they're not seeing a doctor? Would that be medical or not? Because if you go with the mental patients, that is a medical condition, then almost all horror movies would fall into medical.
Well, and
precisely because of that, I wouldn't lump them into that category.
I'm not saying it's like one big category, but they are maybe a subcategory.
Psycho would be on there.
There's one that I'm not sure if it falls under the category. It's called Fear Clinic. Have any of y'all seen it? It's got Robert Englund in it. It's a terrible, terrible movie. He's a psychiatrist who's like decided he's going to like cure his patients' phobias
By scaring them to death.
by putting them in this. He has this invention where he puts them in there and he makes them hallucinate. He controls the hallucinations, and it's terrible.
Is it as bad?
Absolutely terrible.
Is it as bad as the movie where Frosty the Snowman was screwing people and then eating them?
Oh my god.
Hey,
I remember that
Wasn't
one.
that Jack Frost?
Yes.
No.
Microwave Massacre.
Microwave Massacre.
My bad.
I thought that was also Jack Frost.
I introduced you all to that movie.
I don't remember that one.
Hey, Paul,
I
have
will
you ever
show
seen?
you a clip. You'll never look at Frosty the same way
Right.
again.
Oh, I don't remember Frosty anyway.
Hey, Paul, have you ever seen the movie Sublime?
Yes.
That would
Yeah.
fall heavily into the medical, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because they ain't got no Santeria.
It would, but whenever I was talking about how boring some mental asylum movies are, that was actually the one that was in my head.
Yeah. I was just re-looking it back up because I remember watching it a couple of times, and I didn't realize it was Tom Cavanaugh because I didn't really know who he was until The Flash.
Right.
But yeah, that one caught me because I was trying to come up with an idea for a film, and that one was very vaguely familiar to my idea, so I watched it a couple of times. So I'm not like stealing from them too much, but
Like Daybreakers?
Yeah.
How we wrote it 2 weeks before it came out?
Yeah. But yeah, tagline for Sublime is maybe if you spend your life worrying, then the only way that your life will have meaning is if what you fear becomes real.
That's a tagline?
Yeah.
I figured it would be like Ain't Got No Santeria or Crystal Ball.
Because it was very kind of psychological more than
Dog!
medical. Hey, stop whacking it. Your boy's always whacking. Y'all missing it.
Heather, please call the dog.
Which dog?
Peyton.
Peyton.
What are you doing, Doofus? She can't come this way.
The house cow.
That's a better name for her, house cow.
Or couch cow.
Because we don't have the other two here tonight.
Throwing this real close to the speaker. He's just laying around.
I think Peyton's upset that no one's paying attention to her because we're
Yeah.
on all the podcast.
Yeah, she gets that way.
She does.
So,
Well, she could have not headbutted me in the nuts.
She's just that height.
I don't know what else.
All right, I got one.
Okay.
We're talking about horror movies that feature a medical procedure. This kind of spoils a little bit of the movie, but I still recommend it even if you know what the twist is. Brian De Palma's Sisters with Margot Kidder from the 70s. That is a really solid movie.
Really?
It sounds familiar.
Movie begins with Margot Kidder bringing a guy home, and he ends up being murdered by what looks like her, and then it ends up revealing that it's her twin sister who's kind of deranged. The movie starts going into the fact that they were Siamese twins, and that the operation, what happened in the operation, ended up making her psychotic.
Okay. Sounds vaguely familiar.
What was that movie that had the British actor? He played a doctor, but he played a set of twins, and one of them was they were both
Dead Ringer.
Dead Ringers?
Gynecologist.
A gynecologist?
That was my favorite movie. Yes. That is easily Jeremy Irons' best performance.
Yes, I agree. Other than Scar, I thought he was really good as Scar.
Scar.
No, the lion.
Scar.
No, never mind.
What surprised me about his performance at Dead Ringers, though, is that he's got a twin, and they don't do like the tells. One wears a hat and one doesn't wear a hat. No, you just know through his performance which twin he is playing at all times.
Exactly. It was well done. It was well done. It was.
Well done.
Well done.
Diagnosis: death. Ooh. Yeah, Patrick Evil Awakes. That's the one you were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Evil awakes. So does that mean that evil naps?
Yes.
You have a
Evil
child.
does
Do you
not
remember
nap.
when they're into evil naps?
Evil does not
Joe-
nap.
Huh?
Evil does not nap.
Joe wants,
They don't let you
Joe
nap.
wants.
Joe wants to talk about Ask the Mouth, the trilogy.
No, thank you.
No.
Okay,
we're
So
good.
we're talking about what?
Ask them out, the trilogy.
Okay.
The centipede.
Started with a strange scientist doctor, and it's very informative about anatomy and feelings. It's the perfect.
I'm going to hang up this phone call now.
I don't know.
I think Joe needs to go take his medicine.
Okay, so I have to say that I've never seen this movie until today, and I've watched about 2/3 of it. So I haven't finished it.
Have you got to the feeding
Do
part?
you really need to?
They are outside in the yard and trying to fetch.
Yeah.
And he does his thing, and then
Yeah,
the
feed the
girls are
bitch.
like, "Yeah,
Yes, feed the bitch.
yeah."
Yeah. Now I tell you, the guy they got to play in the second film, he's creepy as fuck.
I've never seen any of them, and I'm not sure I want to.
I haven't even finished the second one because the little dude is just like makes me think of Joe. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, be nice.
Joe's creepier.
Yeah, Joe's creepier, right, Joe?
No, this is Paul. The thing about the second one though was that it was supposed to take place in the real world.
Yeah.
Like he was a fan of the first movie and he started doing it, and the plot of that makes less sense. than
Way
the
less
first
sense.
movie.
And the third one takes place in the real world, and the two movies are just movies. That's all like in German, so you can't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, Texas, German, Ask the Mouth.
Yeah, but that was also like a prison with like 500 inmates.
Yeah,
Yep.
so it's like, yeah, it has everything. Romance.
I still think Tom Six, the director of that, just did that because he had a fetish.
That developed after the first film. That's true, Ass to Mouth right there.
In his interviews, he said that he did it like the idea for the movie came because he was having conversation with someone about what the ultimate punishment would be for pedophiles, and he came up with that. And then
Ass
he's
to
like,
Mouth, okay.
"Oh, I'm going to make that into a horror movie." I'm just sitting there like, really? That conversation made you think, "Oh, I need to hinge an entire movie off of this."
Apparently, that's a quote from the Human Centipede 2.
Yeah.
What is the quote?
Stop them tears. You're making Daddy's willy harder. Yeah.
Okay, that's enough of the centipede crap.
I see what you did there.
I believe in you, Kyle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's that kind of renders us all speechless.
That's that movie that just goes way over the edge. But the problem with that movie is it starts on the other side of the edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get to cross the edge. I mean, it's already there.
You have to jump in the hole just to
It starts
get there.
about 45 feet over the edge.
Yeah, it's kind of like already being in Canada. Yeah. Before you can say, no!
I honestly don't like the movie, but I will say the guy who plays the doctor is actually the sole good thing about that movie.
The first one or the second?
over the
The
top.
first one.
The first one. And the third. He plays the warden in the third.
Oh, does he play the Warden?
The Horton?
Yeah.
The Horton?
The Warden? Plays the Warden?
Who? Here's the Who.
Texan warden.
Yes. German Texan.
German Texan. A Jackson?
It's a Gexon.
A Jackson? A Gert Jackson? Gertson?
Turducken.
What is that about?
It's about sewing a mouth to an ass.
That's not what I'm talking about. I have moved on.
We're past that point now.
That the doctor in the first one was in another movie. He's kind of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and it's called Suck My Dick.
Oh, well.
That's why I was like, oh, okay.
Well, then that's what happens. You start with sucking the dick, and then you go ass to mouth.
Okay, I think this is going long enough.
Yeah, I think we've gone
That's what
over the
she
edge
said.
and back, and we're back in the ditch. So we need to get out of this ditch
We're
and say our goodbyes.
I think it's a good takeaway for this episode. Never go ass to mouth.
Exactly. Never.
Ever. But sometimes.
Feed the bitch.
God.
Oh, I knew we were going to end on
The
this
more you
note.
know.
I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Didn't I call in sick today? All right, so yeah, medical. Can't even talk now. Oh, yeah, medical horror. Yeah,
And for those of you listening to the show for the first time, this is not what it normally is
it's
like.
usually a lot worse.
It's worse.
Oh, wow.
All right, so if you've enjoyed what you heard today, whatever,
You're twisted as hell.
You're twisted as hell, and we like that. So please subscribe to us on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google, and Spreaker.
Find us on Facebook if you want to talk more about ass to mouth or Italian softcore porn.
Softcore corn.
Or Twitter, or the Instagram.
Send us a picture of your softcore corn.
No.
I want pictures of people's soft corn. Not thrown up though. Don't throw it up. No.
Oh, we're gonna get so many pictures.
Oh look, this is cream corn. This is smashed corn with a hammer. This is. We also do have Tumblr. I forgot where we are.
Grindr.
Twitter,
Instagram.
our website,
fierceintro.net. Tumblr,
Google
Play. Yeah, we're everywhere.
Google don't play.
And if you want us to bring more fantastical tales of softcore corn,
or ass to mouth,
tortillas.
You can always become one of our Patreons on
We're going to have to
Patreon.
have a redemption retrospective after this.
Say what?
We're going to have a redemption retrospective after this. You know,
So yeah, next week we may be talking religious horror. I don't know.
There we go. I'm
We'll talk
down.
religious horrors.
Religious horrors, yes.
We're talking religious horrors next
Yeah.
week.
Next week, a religious horse.
Religious horrors. But yes, if
Very
you
valuable.
thoroughly enjoy what we're bringing to you and would like to see us bring you more of this wonderful stuff, you can become a patron to us right there on the website, fierceintro.net. Click on the Become a Patron, and as little as $1 a month,
you can make us not talk about.
you can make
human
us not talk about ass to mouth corn.
That's even worse.
So we bid you adieu from across the county and here. So have a great week, and we will see you all next week. And as always,
Stay scared.